to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Chance for showers developing or building into the lows drop to 62. Winds south 5 to 15. Higher gusts remain possible. Friday, partial sunshine again possible at times. Winds will be breezy. Shower chances continue. Highs make it into the middle 80s. And then Friday night, another chance for showers. Storms also possible. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 55.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5. WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And good morning to you. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Format for this morning. Open phones during this hour, whatever you'd like to chat about at 989-752-6111. Next hour, we're going to be talking to Bill Schutte. He is a member of a committee from the Midland Business Alliance studying the aftermaths of the dam failures, and we're going to look at it 2 years later and see where we're at. And then at 11 o'clock on Focus, Buck Insurance. Ken Buck will be with us to talk about updates on auto insurance and other things. That's what's ahead this morning. And you can, of course, watch me on the usual places, twitch.tv, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So open phones this hour, a number of things to bring up, and you can comment them on if you like. Remember the big discussion we had about the formation of the Department of Homeland Security Disinformation Board, and how a number of the spokespersons for the president and others started trying to explain it away, that it was only going to look at foreigners, only going to do this, only going to do that. Nobody trusted anything they were saying. Well, guess what? They have paused the Disinformation Board. I think they put their finger in the air and noticed which way the wind was blowing. But the Disinformation Board has been paused, and the gal they had picked to head it, who was controversial in herself, has quit. So there's a couple of positives. COVID-19 on the rise again, and look out, are we going to get mandated again for masks? No, we're getting suggested, recommended, but not mandated yet, because there is another, the B2A variant or something like that. Highly contagious, but not nearly as devastating medically. But it's out there, and cases are growing in certain parts of the country. Maybe you don't want to move to the state of Washington right away. They're setting their gas pumps to be able to accept $10 gallon gas. Yep, you heard it right. They are adjusting all of their gas pumps to be able to read $10 or more, because most pumps can't do that right now. They can read up to $9.99. The Attorney General, Mr. Garland, has come out very much against any violence against the Supreme Court of the United States and any violence that might come about because of the potential ruling against Roe v. Wade. I'd like to ask the Attorney General, where is he when all these people are already violating federal law in front of these people's homes? It is against federal law to protest at a Supreme Court judge's home with the intent of trying to persuade them to change their verdict. It's a federal law. They're all violating the law. Where is everybody? Fine, Mr. Attorney General, you want to come out and say violence is wrong? Yes, absolutely. But why aren't you following the law that's on the books already? Well, anyway. And what else? A lot of discussion. And I don't know who's discussing it, but I think it's probably mostly Democrats. Will Biden run again? There's a big story online today about that. And the House has passed a domestic terrorism bill. A lot of bills coming forth following the Buffalo shooting, and not that it's a surprise. There's always a lot of discussion and legislation comes forward that doesn't do much, doesn't really get to the root cause. So those are some of the things that are out there today, and we'll talk about any of them that you want to. Alan is in Saginaw Township, so we're going to begin with Alan this morning.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
This will be a strange topic, maybe.
All right.
I
like strange topics.
It's not a toughie for you, though. Not a toughie. You're starting off with a softball here. I just kind of missed before the 9 o'clock news an ad per se, an announcement on your station that you would be involved in hosting an event at a museum.
Oh, yeah. Tonight.
Which museum?
It is the Heart of the City event at the Children's Museum.
Ah, okay.
And yes, I will be emceeing that, and it is this evening. And I think it's, as a matter of fact, I have stuff in front of me here.
$30 was the price, I remember.
Yeah, and the program starts at 6:15. I think they open the doors at 6 o'clock or something like that, 5:30. And it runs. It's a fun evening. I have been involved with it probably, I think, since the very first one. And then there was a pause, and then COVID came along. So this is kind of a restart again, if you will. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be kind of fun.
Well, good.
They do all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of there's silent auctions, a live auction, there's wagons of cheer, and of course, there's lots of food. I think tonight, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Bavarian Inn is providing the food.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to see who's providing the beverages. I have it someplace. I just don't remember now.
Opperman's, maybe?
No, I don't think so. Don't remember that.
Or Ideal Party Store.
No, it's neither of those. It's a name I just got to find it here. Well, anyway, I'll find it. But it is tonight at the Children's Museum, and it runs till probably about 9 o'clock is pretty much when it ends. Mm-hmm. So it's a full evening.
Is it a sit-down dinner, or is it just
no? You walk around, and there's you walk around.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time, and there's some live auction items too. They'll have an auctioneer and everything.
Yeah, very good. Well, I appreciate that because I try to attend things of that nature, and I support many museums in the area. And I just
well, this is a good one. I'll tell you what, the Children's Museum is a jewel.
Just missed that. Yeah. Well, it gives you a chance to
to play like a kid because all those things will be open.
Well, that too. Since my call at least gave you the opportunity to publicize.
Yes, thank you very much. It was very kind of you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. I'll hope to see you tonight. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now. All right. I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to mention it anyway. But it is tonight at the Children's Museum. Heart of the City, it's called. We're going to take a pause. And again, it's open lines. Whatever you'd like to chat about on this Thursday, give us a little jingle, and we'd love to chat with you.
The Pinconning Sesquicentennial is underway. Town and Country Supermarket is presenting the Chalk Walk Art Festival in downtown Pinconning on Saturday, May 21st, with artists creating masterpieces on the Kaiser Street pavement from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Bring the family out to see the awesome designs or sign up to participate. Our website, PinConningLinwood.com, or the Pinconning-Linwood Area Chamber of Commerce on Facebook for the details or to register. We'll see you this summer in Pinconning.
Glyphosate-resistant weeds are a growing problem for soybean growers. Intermock herbicide from UPL is a powerful combination of glufosinate and S-metolachlor for immediate, long-lasting, and overlapping residual control of tough broadleaves and grasses in glufosinate-tolerant soybeans, including Palmer amaranth, water hemp, lamb's quarter, and more. Ask your retailer about Intermock, the 2-in-1 herbicide solution from UPL. And always read and follow. Weed resistance is a growing problem for soybean growers, but now there's a way to control weeds and help break the cycle of resistance. New Preview 2.1 SC herbicide from UPL, an innovative new combination of active ingredients in a novel SC formulation. So powerful, so long-lasting, it can control the most devastating broadleaf weeds before they start, giving you a preview of what your fields will look like at harvest. Ask your retailer about new Preview 2.1 SC, and always read and follow label directions.
The Tribute to Summer concert series takes center stage at Saginaw Eagles Landing. Don't miss 1964. Beatles' earliest concerts on June 16th. And Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show on June 30th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Worth Road and include $10 free play for adults. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The job market continues to be holding up this month. The number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time increased slightly last week to 218,000. New claims than expected. However, the number of people still receiving unemployment continues to decline. Continuing claims dropped to 1.31 million in the latest reading. Yesterday's Wall Street sell-off is blamed on retail giants Walmart and Target, reporting the impact of higher prices on their businesses. This morning, BJ's wholesales quarter was better than expected, with sales up more than 14%, up more than 4%, excluding gasoline. Though Kohl's quarter was disappointing. EasyJet, the European discount airline, says its bookings are now stronger than before the pandemic. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm invested in you.
After 9/11, Ben Harrow couldn't wait to enlist in the Army. But in Afghanistan, Ben stepped on an IED while leading an anti-terrorism mission. Ben survived, but lost both of his legs above the knee, 2 fingers, and sustained injuries to his right forearm. Ben now lives in a smart home from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which gave him back his independence despite his severe physical challenges. Help heroes like Ben. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Inflation in Michigan and Midwest, highest in the is running for state senate to fight for new jobs, energy independence, to cut fuel costs, cut taxes and drug costs. Annette Glenn fighting for us. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state senate.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 2895.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all.
that is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Just to follow up on Alan's conversation about the Children's Museum tonight, I did find the information. So I will continue with the shameless self-promotion. Tonight, the food is being prepared by the Bavarian Inn restaurant. And the desserts are Mary's Creative Cookery. Cakery, I should say. Mary's Creative Cakery Cookies. And it's going to be in classroom 4, so you may be able to sit down and eat, not just have to walk around with it. And there is also an area where you will have wine, beer, and soft drinks. That's over by the Water Everywhere Gallery. I love some of the names at the Children's Museum. So tonight, 6 to 9 o'clock at the Children's Museum in downtown Saginaw. It's a It's a great event. I've been involved in it since the beginning. I think I emceed the first, 4 or 5 of them, and really enjoy it. It's kind of a fun evening, and you get to see the Children's Museum if you've never been in there. It's a real eye-opener. It's a wonderful, wonderful facility. All right, so as I mentioned to you, open phones, so whatever you'd like to chat about, you can give us a call. I mentioned the Attorney General Garland saying that threats against the Supreme Court justices amid Roe protests are unacceptable. And I do not understand why there has not been action against the protesters in front of the Supreme Court justices' homes. There is a federal statute that prohibits those kinds of protests designed to influence a decision of the Supreme Court. So why aren't the federal folks out there arresting these people? Now, we did learn that the U.S. Marshal Service is now offering protection to the Supreme Court justices. But, I mean, come on, folks. I mean, this is how this country excels against all other countries in the world. We have a democratic system. We have a legal system. And to set ourselves apart, we follow the law. You may not like the decision of the court. I don't like all the decisions of the court. But that's not an excuse for violence. That's not an excuse to inhibit someone's ability to move about freely. Those aren't protests. Protests are when you stand there and you hold up signs. Yes, you can do that. But again, federal law prohibits you doing it on the property of a Supreme Court justice to influence their decisions. So if you're going to enforce the law, enforce the law. Instead of just making statements. And again, intelligence sharing, technical support, protection, coordination's all being done. There's a whole group of people from the U.S. Marshal Service, FBI, Supreme Court Police Chief. There are others involved in trying to protect the justices from anything that could be considered violent or, against their ability to move about freely. So, when we see street rioting and they are worried about violence, I mean, there are serious concerns about violence once this decision is made. If it's made in the manner that the leaked document described, in other words, if they overturn Roe and throw it back to the states to decide, they're expecting violence. That's too bad, because that gains nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's talk to Chris in Saginaw Township. Chris, good morning. Chris, good morning.
Yep. Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
There you are. Good morning.
I'm here.
Good.
I'm here.
Gotcha.
Are we here?
Yeah, we got you.
I want to talk about something silly first.
Oh, good.
This morning when Charlie was talking about items left in the break room.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't there a marshmallow cereal pieces like you'd find in Lucky Charms? I thought that was an oddity that was in the break room some time back, and I didn't hear Charlie talk about it.
Might be. You have to understand there's so much that's been left in the break room, we don't remember it all.
Okay. All right, now getting serious about what you just touched on.
Yep.
I've been out of the car for a while, so I didn't hear anything from, 10 after 9 till
That's all right.
some after. So, and I'm curious to know if Scott's going to call, because I'm going to be way out there on your Supreme Court discussion. Recently, Peter Ducey asked Jen Psaki about the protests, and her response was that peaceful protests anywhere in the country are allowed. It's your First Amendment right, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, she didn't know the law.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And it's, and then you mentioned, what might be terrible if the decision is revealed as leaked. Who is it going to be that are going to run these riots? It's going to be the left. And, as you said, it will not accomplish a bleeping thing. And I don't know how or why they think this. It's just nuts.
Yeah, well,
so
it's of course, we also have to admit it's speculation. We don't know if that's going to happen, but it's speculated that it is going to happen.
Well, yeah, given what's already happened.
And let's also understand. We also have to understand this, Chris. It is a small minority of those who believe one way or another. Anytime you have these riots, it's a very small percentage of those people. Most people peacefully protest. Most people raise their voice in protest.
It turns out to be a lot of damage.
It does turn out, but it's not. It's not everybody on that side of the argument. It's a small percentage of people that do it.
Yeah.
And many of them do it for the wrong reason. Many of them do it just because they can, because they somehow think that does something. It's a false sense of righteousness, if you will. But it's a very small percentage on either side. I don't care which side it is when it happens. It's a very small percentage. In the same way that active shooters like this kid in Buffalo or the one in Oxford or anywhere else, they're unbalanced. They don't represent everybody. They represent just a very, very small fraction of people who would actually do what they did. And, it's always bugged me a little bit that, one side or the other takes the whole blame because the other side puts it on you, And I just have to remind people that these individuals that do this, they're all by themselves. They don't represent anybody but themselves. And I don't, there's going to be accusations on how he got radicalized and who did it. Or there'll be accusations on anybody protesting in violent ways after the court decision comes down. And it's always one side blames the other side, always.
Yep.
And the reality is, let's put it on where it belongs. It belongs on that individual. When a young man goes and mows down 10 people in a racial, in a racist manner, he gets the blame. Because...
Well, he should get the blame anyway.
Yeah.
There's always people weaseling around the issue to blame it on something else other than the person that actually perpetrates the crime.
I just have a note here on your mention of the things you were talking about, the serial things. They were not left. They were brought to us by a listener. So they don't qualify as being anonymously left in the break room.
Oh, okay.
And they were bags of marshmallows, actually. And they came from Shipshewana on the road. Or Shipshewana. So there you go. That's the follow-up to your comment.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Chris.
All right. Thank
Take
you.
care. Chris can now get on with his day, knowing that we have fully covered everything left in the lunchroom at the radio station. Our break room over the years has seen some strange things. What's even stranger is they don't last long. Somebody takes them. Anyway, line's open for you. Give us a call, and we will take a break and be back with more. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at Thalen Auto Group, particularly Thalen Honda. This month, I'm driving a pre-owned Honda Accord Sport. It's a 2021 model. What a car. You put it in sport, and it goes like a sports car. Wow. It's wonderful. just one of the many vehicles you will find at Honda. Now, as you know, new car supplies are very low, but Honda has a whole pipeline of cars on order that are coming in, and they'll be glad to tell you about it. You can reserve one in your name. And remember that in 2021, the EPA report on gas mileage, Honda was named number one at 29.1 miles per gallon of all full-line automakers. And that was 3.7 miles per gallon higher than the industry average for the 2020 model year. Now, the 2022 Honda Civic has won the prestigious North American Car of the Year award. And the Honda Ridgeline was ranked first among the longest-lasting trucks. So take some time and visit Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue today to see what's in the pipeline and reserve one for yourself. Now, if you're looking to move up in vehicles, but maybe you're not waiting for a new one, you want a late model pre-owned vehicle, you will find as large a supply of inspected pre-owned vehicles on the Thalen Auto Dealers lots as anywhere in the Great Lakes Bay region. You got all those dealerships side by side right there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And you can go online to thinkthalen.com, take a look at the inventory. Maybe you'll find that perfect car for you, then sit down with a Thalen representative and get the car of your dreams. And remember that the Thalen family has been serving your automotive needs for better than 45 years.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest's premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community one student at a time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training. Online at simurange.com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward-thinking, on-target training.
Where are you going, Steve?
Taking your car to Paintbull.
The body shop? What happened?
Relax. Paintbull's detailing, rust proofing, even ceramic graphene coating applications.
Ceramic what?
No idea, but it sounds cool.
Whew, I thought you were going to Paintbull because you wrecked my car.
No, we just need a new bumper.
What?
Gotta go.
Get your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
When it comes to cereal disease protection, Prosaro Pro 400 SC fungicide from Bayer makes all the difference. With 3 effective active ingredients for overlapping control of foliar and head diseases, and a flexible application window for head scab, it's formulated to lower DON, protect yield potential, and promote superior grain quality. Prosaro Pro, the future of plant health starts here. Visit prosaropro.com to learn more. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with Technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
America could soon enter stagflation territory with slow economic growth, high unemployment, and high inflation. That is why I recommend gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here, and I want to remind you to get Birch Gold's free info kit on sheltering your savings with Gold IRA. To get your free copy, text the word SHELTER to 989898. With stagflation looming, it's critical that you act today. Text SHELTER to 989898 right now.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to the business of your choice when you play the Bring Home Makeover Contest, presented by Rose Pest Solutions. To enter, visit WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and click on the contest box. That's when you choose the business you would use for $1,000 gift certificate if you are the winner. Businesses include Rose Pest Solutions, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, RoofMax, Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, Delta Door Sales, Crane's L&M Appliance, Begic Nursery and Garden Center, J&B Boots, United Financial Credit Union, Maple Hill Nursery, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Hartle Heating and Cooling, West Side Decorating Center, Pluck Nursery, Designer's Touch, M&R Garage Door, Bay Landscaping, Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Woolfiles Ace Hardware, the Spring Home Makeover Contest, presented by Rose Pest Solutions. Enter online, WSGW.com. Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Art Lewis Show for this Thursday morning. Open phones this hour. Whatever you'd like to chat about, give us a call. I mentioned that there is conversation about whether or not the President of the United States, Joe Biden, will run again. If you listen to President Biden, he says yes. He told former President Barack Obama that he plans to launch a bid for re-election. But there is a lot of discussion among Democrats as to whether he actually will or not, because A, they're bracing for a very, very difficult midterm election. And if he loses Congress and his power is weakened, there is a question as to then whether he would run again. The other concern is his approval rating. It's down in the dumps in the 30s. And that's not a good position to rerun from. And then there's his age. He'll be 81 years old. Now, I am the last person in the world to criticize his age. He is currently 79 years old. I am currently 79 years old. I plan to keep on doing this as long as I can because I love it. And my employer is kind enough to allow me. Who am I to judge someone else on their age? So age also can translate into experience. And in this country, we tend to throw out a lot of experience by forcing artificial retirements, if you will. So I'm not going to pick on him for his age at all. His policies, yeah, I'll be glad to pick on him for that. Not a problem. And I think what's going to happen, and again, this is just me, this is my opinion and nothing else, and it's strictly from my observations over many years of politics. Politics, sort of like the ocean. You can sail one day and it'll be smooth as glass. And the next day you'll have 10-foot waves, 12-foot waves, disrupting your smooth voyage. It's a little like politics. I think that the midterms are going to be those 10 and 12-foot waves that are going to disrupt the voyage. Because if, as projected, the Democrats lose both houses of Congress, it means for all practical purposes, the president is lame duck from that day on. Because he will not get anything done that even remotely smacks of a progressive agenda or a far left agenda. Won't happen. And I would suspect if that happens, there will be a lot of internal pressure within the Democratic Party to convince him not to run. I think the Democrats would view him as a losing horse in the race. And if he chose to run anyway, I think you would find some Democrats coming out to challenge him, assuming that the midterms go the way I've said. Now, if by some chance the Democrats maintain control of Congress, that's a whole nother story. Then he's riding the big wave of success. And then, without question, I'm pretty sure he'd choose to run again. Assuming health and all of those things, it's an interesting scenario to watch. Typically in midterms, the party in power loses some power. And right now, with inflation and the economy the way it is, the stock market doing what it's doing, biggest loss yesterday in history, these things all are working against the Democrats. As a matter of fact, one of the few things working for them is probably the most controversial, and that's the possible Supreme Court reversal of Roe v. Wade. Because if the court indeed strikes down Roe v. Wade, turns it back to the states, it will energize a certain portion of the Democrat Party. So that it would be expected there would be a slightly larger turnout. Now, it is true that a lot of people make a lot of noise about right to life versus pro-choice. And there are a number of one-issue voters out there. But nowhere near the amount of people it would take to overcome a bad economy and inflation and all of that. That's the number one issue. Poll after poll after poll shows inflation, the economy, shortages on the shelves. These are the issues facing Americans. And that's how they vote. We're going to take a break. We come back. Scott from Saginaw will be up with us right after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show.
Spring is here, and we are ready to help your yard look just as vibrant and colorful as it should. Quality, locally grown products at very competitive prices. That's why so many of you come to Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. Hi, I'm Matt Bouvet. We sincerely appreciate our customers, and we want you to know that when you plant with us, you get the best plants, expert advice, affordable price, and the safety you would expect from our family-owned business. That's why your mom and dad, or even grandparents, started their spring with us. Prices, shop around, and you'll see our selection is reasonably priced to fit your needs and your budget, whether you're a beginning gardener or advanced. Popping up all over this year. We have the healthy, locally grown plants. You need to make that garden produce safe and healthy for your dinner table this season. Like us on Facebook and Twitter too. It's that easy. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Plan to plant with us this spring at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center on Wadsworth, near the freeway, Saginaw. See us today. Let us make your outdoors beautiful.
So what's the most exciting part of playing Millions Cash Payout, the new instant game series from the Michigan Lottery?
It's the cash.
Maybe it's having 4 brand new tickets to play.
No, it's the cash.
Or maybe the tickets are from $2 to $20.
It's the cash.
And they have little stars on them.
I'm telling you, it's the cash.
Of course, with top prizes up to $2 million and over $155 million in total prizes, that part is pretty exciting too.
You think?
Play new Millions Cash Payout.
And put some cash play in your day.
Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds a stack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Mike Ebery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, springtime pan fishing with Mark Sack. Then in hour number 2, we're talking about whitetail fawns with Chad Stewart of the DNR. Then Nick Green of MUCC checks in from Lansing. And in hour number 3, it's staying safe on the big water with retired Coast Guardsman Joe Marion. Listen Saturday mornings at 6 and Sundays at 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones, and we say good morning to Scott in Saginaw. Scott, good morning to you.
Hey, morning, Art. How you doing?
We're doing well, thanks.
All right. Well, last week I think it was, I said something about the Democratic Party, and you told me I had lost my credibility. So I want to use a term and show you my work.
What was
I
it?
said that I said sooner or later these monsters are going to start killing Republicans, and you said that I lost my credibility.
Yeah, all right.
And so I wanted to show my homework on this. A few years ago, Representative Steve Scalise was playing baseball, and he was shot by a Democrat for no other reason than him being Republican.
Right.
A short time after that, Ron Paul was in his yard, and he was beaten violently by his Democrat neighbor simply because he was Republican.
Okay.
And then,
all right, now wait a minute. Now, hang on, Scott. Let's discuss this. All right. Do they represent the entire Democratic Party?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
I'm asking you. Do they represent
I don't know.
Well, all right. Let me ask you this then: when a Republican or someone from the right or the far right does the same thing in a violent manner, do they represent you?
Well, let's do this.
Whoa, answer the question. No, not a question with a question.
Give me an example. Give me an example of somebody on the far right doing something violent.
There've probably been lots of them.
Well, give me one. Because I have plenty of the left going way out there violent on the left.
Well, all right.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we'll be theoretical. We'll be theoretical then. Does someone acting violently on the right represent you?
No.
And does someone acting violently on the left represent them? Can't work both ways.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
that's not what I'm saying. I said some on the left. I'm just showing you the progression, how I came up with what I said.
I understand.
Arguing with me how I see what I see.
I understand that. I just want it understood. In my world, the way I look at it, individuals that do that are out of balance mentally, I should say. They can be swayed by others, but they act in a way that the overwhelming majority of people, I don't care what party you are, don't act. It's one thing to protest. It's one thing to speak out. It's quite another to take up arms and go after somebody because you don't like their politics. And that happens.
Right, but I was showing you true examples that actually happened. Steve Scalise was shot simply because he was a Republican by a Democrat. Ron Paul was simply violently beaten simply because he was a Republican. And as I was saying, these same monsters turn their attention and start saying, what do we want? We want dead cops. Next thing you know, our police officers were being assassinated in their vehicles. Now these monsters are out burning down healthcare clinics saying, if abortion's not safe, you're not safe. So for me, Art, I'm going to take some of these people at their word.
Some of them, yes, absolutely.
They've shot Republicans and they've killed our police. I take them at their word.
Okay, I will do my homework though, because you do know that you have to know that there have been people on the right who have taken violent action. You would be dishonest if you didn't. But I will come up with examples.
Okay, but now the difference between this is again, just because somebody professes.
I lost you.
Representation.
Say it again. You had a dropout. Yeah, Scott, say that again because we had a dropout. I missed what you said.
Okay. I said, just because somebody professes to be Republican and does something does not mean that they have representation. What do I mean?
Well, is that any different for a Democrat?
Well, hold on. There's not one Republican Congress or Senate that goes out and marches with the Aryan Nation, but there's hundreds of Democrats who go out and protest with the violent group called Black Lives Matter. There is a difference. There is a difference. You don't get representation on the right for these people who want to kill blacks. But on the left, if you want to kill and destroy, you have representation from the left because we see them marching with them.
Right.
That's my point. The left backs this up and the right denounces it. And you can't show me any Republicans that, again, go to Aryan Nation rallies.
All right.
All right, Art.
We will look, but I got to go because I'm out of time here, and thank you much. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
There's something new from Honda. It has cruise control, a powerful Honda engine, and a body that's virtually indestructible. It's not a car. It's a revolutionary new mower designed and built by Honda. It's called the HRX and features Honda's patented Versamo system, meaning with the flip of a handle, it can change from mulching to bagging to and anywhere in between with no attachments. Honda's
I can do the full hour.
It will never rust,
Say something
bend, or
so I can
corrode. The exclusive
I can do the full
Honda
hour.
blades
Oh, great.
ultra
All right.
fine clippings for better mulching
Be back
and
with you
increased
shortly.
bag capacity
Sure.
when bagging or leaf shredding. Now you get all this along with an unprecedented 5-year extended warranty. You've never seen anything like it. The Honda HRX. This changes everything. Get your best deal this weekend at Woolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State
Are my
Street in
eyes
Saginaw
deceiving
during
me,
their
or do I
auction
see a
action
Mustang?
weekend. The used equipment auction starts at 10
Okay.
Sunday.
It must be
And
the lighting.
I think
I
it
didn't
must be
think
the
so.
lighting.
All
Should
right.
I turn some lighting on?
No, that's
Comfort
fine.
and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have
No.
a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to find savings. But you may have more cash than you realize in your home's equity. Unlock it today with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars from your home. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could get all that cash in as little as 3 weeks. Put your hard-earned money to work. Pay down high-interest debt and combine your balances into one simple, low monthly payment. Now is your perfect opportunity to take control of your financial future. So what are you waiting for? When you want to consolidate debt and simplify your finances, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
All right, we're heading up toward the top of the hour. We'll have news from CBS and, of course, the local report. Then we'll be back to talk to Bill Schuette about the dam situation and 2 years later. All of that coming up here on WSGW. The news is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
The markets are open a day after the Dow lost a massive 1,100 points. Stocks have picked up where they left off, on the decline. Market strategist Matt Orton says investors are down in the dumps.
Sentiment's bad. You can't find buyers. There's not great liquidity. So whether or not we've hit the technical threshold, I'd still say this is a bear market.
The Dow is down 456 in early trading. S&P off 35. More people signed up for unemployment benefits last week, but overall, they're still at a 53-year low. Bank rates, Mark Hamrick.
This proxy for layoffs moved back to the level last seen in mid-January, still considered historically low.
After 30 years, McDonald's is closing up shop in Russia over the war in Ukraine, and the burger chain says it's found a buyer. An existing licensee who operates 25 Russian Mickey D's has agreed to purchase the other 800 or so and operate them under a new name. President Biden is meeting with leaders of Finland and Sweden at the White House right now. After years of neutrality, the war has prompted both of their countries to apply for NATO membership. Secretary of State Antony Blinken tells The Late Show's Stephen Colbert,
President Putin has managed to precipitate everything he sought to prevent. He wanted to prevent NATO from getting bigger with Ukraine. Now it actually is with Finland and with Sweden.
A judge has set a June 9th court date for the 18-year-old suspect in the mass shooting at a Tops supermarket. More from correspondent Jerika Duncan.
New York's Attorney General announced she is launching investigations into social media companies in connection to the attack. Those companies include Twitch, 4chan, 8chan, and Discord, where the accused gunman posted plans about this mass shooting about 30 minutes before he entered this area.
And the suspect just indicted by a grand jury on first-degree murder. It's been 2 days since Pennsylvania's Senate Republican primary, and the winner's still not clear. Dr. Mehmet Oz, who got Donald Trump's backing, and former hedge fund manager David McCormick, is too slim to declare either the victor. Washington policy analyst Ed Mills.
The reason why this race matters is that it could easily decide control of the United States Senate. And it's one of, if not the best pickup opportunity for Senate Democrats.
Sports Illustrated's swimsuit issue hit stands today. On one cover, Elon Musk's mom, May. The 74-year-old tells CBS Mornings.
Once I did the first swimsuit, they always said, oh, great, great, great. And I'm saying, okay. So I said to them, please Photoshop me like crazy.
This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
So what's the most exciting part of playing Millions Cash Payout, the new instant game series from the Michigan Lottery?
It's the cash.
Maybe it's having 4 brand new tickets to play.
No, it's the cash.
Or maybe the tickets are from 2 to 20.
Cash.
And they have little stars on them.
I'm telling you, it's the cash.
Of course, with top prizes up to $2 million and over $155 million in total prizes, that part is pretty exciting too.
You think?
Play new Millions Cash Payout.
And put some cash play in your day.
Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
America could soon enter stagflation territory with slow economic growth, high unemployment, and high inflation. That is why I recommend gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here, and I want to remind you to get Birch Gold's free info kit on sheltering your savings with Gold IRA. To get your free copy, text the word SHELTER to 989898. With steps critical that you act today. Text SHELTER to 989898 right now.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to find savings. But you may have more cash than you realize in your home's equity. Unlock it today with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars from your home. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could get all that cash in as little as 3 weeks. Put your hard-earned money to work. Pay down high-interest debt and combine your balances into one simple, low monthly payment. Now it's your control of your financial future. So what are you waiting for? When you want to consolidate debt and simplify your finances, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
7 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Dave Maurer. The city of Saginaw has extended the deadline for 2 weeks to submit ideas and formal proposals for American Rescue Plan Act allocations through its online portal. The new deadline is Monday, June 13th. The city submission portal is available for residents, nonprofits, and businesses to submit a general idea on the use of ARPA funds and as the official grant application for those who have a formal submission. Members of the ARPA Advisory Committee have scheduled numerous community engagement meetings throughout the month of May to help citizens and organizations with questions about submissions. All will be reviewed and considered by the ARPA Advisory Committee, City Council, and City Administration. You can find more information and the portal on the City of Saginaw website. The Board of Commissioners that runs Saginaw County wants to make workers' affairs their affair. The board passed a new policy Tuesday that strongly discouraged sexual liaisons between workers and their subordinates, whether long or short term. Under the new policy, all workers must report their relationships to their supervisors in writing. There are no official penalties listed in the new policy, but commissioners say they could include demotion or being fired. Two were greeted by a full house at this week's Board of Education meeting, looking to applaud them for their scholastic efforts. Rick Antonio has more.
School Board President Dr. Charles Coleman says the hard work he sees in these competitive youngsters has him excited because it shows that Saginaw students aren't just learning and competing, but competing nationally and taking with them important life lessons and educational skills to be able to do so.
The fact that they're competing not just locally, but nationally and competing well. And we're excited to know that it's not the accolades, but it's the fact that they're learning enough in our district to compete. The background that they're getting, the training that they're getting from the teachers to compete nationally.
Ranging from kindergarten to 12th grade, those honored were recognized for their artistic, literary, and scientific prowess. In addition to the nationally ranked research groups, several high-ranking art displays from this year's Saginaw County Art Exhibit were available for the crowd to see, with some showing somber symbolism of school life over the past 2 pandemic-filled learning years and the ever-growing list of mass shootings nationwide. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 10:07.
The Pinconning Sesquicentennial is underway. Town and Country Supermarket is presenting the Chalk Walk Art Festival in downtown Pinconning on Saturday, May 21st, with artists creating matte pavement from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Bring the family out to see the awesome designs or sign up to participate. Click on the link on our website, PinConningLinwood.com, or the Pinconning-Linwood Area Chamber of Commerce on Facebook for the details or to register. We'll see you this summer in Pinconning.
We're proud to in your family, proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time at 10:08. Greenleaf Trust, an independent Michigan chartered trust-only bank and wealth management firm, announced the opening in England. The firm also announced the hire of Jennifer West to serve as managing director of Greenleaf Trust Great Lakes Bay Region. Located at 117 East Main Street, the new office will house a client-centric team to provide holistic wealth management, trust administration, and retirement plan administration solutions. West comes to Greenleaf Trust after spending nearly 20 years in the banking industry, most recently as a vice president with TCF Wealth Management. She also serves as chair of Emerald Evening, is on the board of trustees of Hidden Harvest, as a member of the Midland Noon Rotary and Midland 100 clubs, and more. West is also a graduate of Leadership Midland and the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Management from Central Michigan University. In a summer that's expected to be hotter than usual, Michigan could see controlled power outages. MNN's Jim Matthews reports.
It's a study that says shortfalls of energy capacity are expected in June, July, and August. The operator of the regional power grid, called the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, says there is a possibility that some areas, including Michigan, could be at increased risk for temporary controlled outages to preserve the integrity of the bulk electric system. MISO's recently released seasonal readiness report predicts available capacity of the region's power grid may not be enough. The report comes just a year after many Metro Detroiters experienced prolonged power outages multiple times last summer with severe weather events. Meanwhile, both DTE Energy and Consumers Energy say they don't foresee any issues with having enough power to get through the summer. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
Police in Thomas Township in Saginaw County are investigating the death of cows found along the side of a road. A driver crashed into and killed 2 cows Tuesday night around 10 in the area of Gratiot Road and Georgian Terrace. A vehicle was found nearby without a driver. The dead cows were returned to their owners. The police are asking anyone with information about the incident to call 989-781-1300. The soccer players, their families, and guests will be in Saginaw Township this weekend for the Michigan State Cup Soccer Playoff Tournament, being hosted at the Saginaw Township Soccer Association complex on McCarty Road. Organizers say very heavy traffic is expected on McCarty Road between Mackinac and Bay all day Saturday and Sunday. They advise drivers to use an alternate route or expect delays and periodic gridlock on McCarty throughout the weekend. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's at 1011. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weather. Partial sunshine develops here for today with a high into the mid-70s. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. Then for tonight, we'll have a slight chance for some rain showers here late, mostly cloudy, a low near 62. By Friday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy skies, a high around 86. Saturday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy, high of 72 degrees. Sunday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy skies, a high of 64. Then by Monday, sunshine, high of 62. Tuesday, partial sunshine, high of 67 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 58.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. And we're going to spend the hour talking to a good friend who is the former Attorney General of the state of Michigan, among other things, former congressman, and lots more in his resume, if you will. We say good morning to Bill Schuette. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's great to be on WSGW, and you are the voice of the Great Lakes Bay, that's for sure. So thanks for squeezing me in.
No problem. You are involved through the Midland Business Alliance with the committee that has to do with the dams. Give us an overview of this committee, first of all. What's it about?
You bet, and thanks for this opportunity. I'm part of a group of committed citizens in the Midland area, working with the Midland Business Alliance, headed by an old friend of ours, Tony Stamas, who's the CEO. It's a combination of the Midland Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Corporation in Midland. It's all about growth and jobs, and through his leadership and some committed folks, we're part of a group that is working on flood reduction initiatives, so that and we're not pretending that we're going to eliminate flooding, but if we can reduce the level and the frequency of flooding to maybe 30 feet, it would mean that neighbors and businesses and homes wouldn't get their basements flooded out, their sewage backing up into their basements. And it's all about how you build Midland for the future. And so with 2 years of the anniversary of the the big rains of May of 2020, and then a resulting dam breach where the dams collapsed. We've come a long way, and so with this 2-year anniversary, it's a great opportunity to talk about the good news, what we've done, where we're going, and how Midland will come out of this stronger, better than ever.
Bill, let me ask, you mentioned 30 feet. What's flood stage? How far above flood stage is 30 feet?
Well, that's a good question. There's always a little bit of debate about it. There's still going to be flooding if you're familiar with Midland and
Sure.
Emerson Park and places like that. But the key thing is to keep it out of neighborhoods. So certain neighborhoods have been flooded repeatedly, and so sometimes the flood stages, it can be 31, or then it gets up to 33 feet, and this latest one when the dams were breached was up to 34. So, Mother Nature is still going to have rains and flooding because the topography of Midland, I mean, you think about it, 100, 200 years ago, it was pine trees, and they cut the trees, sent them downstream to Midland and other areas, sent it to Saginaw for the
I got most
furniture and
of it.
wood and all of that. Came by your house, and
it did. 8 feet of it.
You weren't there that long ago.
Yeah, I was.
So the point is that there's always going to be some flooding because it's not that big change in the height and the demography and topography rather. So if we can keep it around 30, then we wouldn't be getting waters in people's homes and basements. That's the key, and businesses.
It would seem to me that progressively we've gotten more and more of it. If we take the dams out of it, dams were unusual.
Correct.
But,
there were in 2020, even if the dams had not been breached, there would have been flooding because of the enormous rainfall. And, we've seen growth in the area. So more subdivisions, more shopping centers, more, tiling in farmers' field, trying to get the water off the field. So it's a combination of growth but we've seen it in 2020 and 1996, and then the big flood of 1986. And so we've seen them continue.
Where I live along the Tittabawassee, at one time, a number of years ago, probably 10 years ago now, we used to get flooding all the time. Every year it would flood across the road where we are. Then they raised the road up about 1.5 feet, and it stopped flooding across the road until all of a sudden, year after year, the water came up higher, higher, and higher, and now it floods across the road again, even though we have a raised road, which tells me that the incidence of flooding has increased. That's without the dams. I mean, with the dams breaking, we had 8 feet of water out front. So that was an unusual period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But, how do you control that? How do you cause water to flow away from us and not cause problems?
It's a great question. And this group from the Midland Business Alliance, the Advisory Committee on Infrastructure, we have officials from the city of Midland, county of Midland, private businesses, some really bright minds, engineers. There's a guy named J.W. Fisher from Fisher Contracting who works with Leanne Rouse of Omnitech. She runs a big business, an engineer as well. All these Michigan Tech folks. Last time I had a math class, art was in 11th grade. So these folks are really smart about engineering. And so what we're doing is a couple of things. We working with Congressman Molinar and Senator Stabenow on resiliency efforts. And so what we're doing is providing some funds back to Midland to help the city with respect to resiliency and working on different ways to improve the sewage and stormwater system. And then secondly, there's a longer pull here in terms of thinking about eco-sensitive maybe retention ponds, where if you can slow the water down, upstream from Midland, maybe it's below the dams a bit, maybe it's above the dams, but you have some the Tittabawassee, Tobacco, Chippewa, and Pine Rivers, all of which converge at the Tridge, which is, that's the fact of life. And so if we can slow the water down with environmentally smart, eco-sensitive retention basins, maybe it's floodlands, kind of a version of the Shiawassee Flats that worked on a lot of years ago with Frankenmuth and others. So we have we're working with the Army Corps of Engineers. Matter of fact, they're coming to town next week, and they've done a terrific job. They want to help the community. And then we're working with private engineering firms as well, so that we can, this will take a long time. If people, and they were smart, we had smart leaders in 1986 after the first flood, if we would have put in place some of these programs that we're thinking about now, there wouldn't be these floods. So, and the fact is that we've seen 3 times where people have lost their homes. The good news is there were no deaths after the dams broke. So I tip my hat to the Midland County Board of Commissioners, how they work together, and the city of Midland as well. So we're going to put into place, I think, it'll be a multi-year process of how you slow the water down on flood reduction initiatives. And the point is, there are a lot of other communities, if you think about the Mississippi River or the Missouri River, where communities have banded together to, sometimes it might be with berms, sometimes it might be with some sort of dikes, sometimes it will be a holding pond or retention pond. And if we can do some of those things, maybe several projects, we believe we can reduce the severity of and frequency of flooding. And that way, this region, it would be a place of growth, it would thrive. And it's a signal to small businesses and people that when it rains, your basement isn't going to get flooded. That's unacceptable. So we're tackling that. We're going to get it done.
All right, Bill, hang on. I got to take a break. We're talking to Bill Schuette, member of committee studying infrastructure to prevent flooding in the future, part of the Midland Business Alliance. And we will be back with him and more after these notes.
Great.
Where are you going, Steve?
Taking your car to Paintbull.
The body shop? What happened?
Relax. Paintbull's more than a body shop. They do detailing, rust proofing, even ceramic graphene coating applications.
Ceramic what?
No idea, but it sounds...
Going to Paintbull because you wrecked my car.
No. We just need a new bumper.
What?
Gotta go.
Get your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks lost ground at the open after the worst day since 2020 for the Dow and S&P. There's an update on the job market. The number of new claims for unemployment benefits increased slightly last week to 218,000. Continuing claims, those still receiving unemployment, dropped. A reading on business activity from the Philadelphia Fed declined this month to the lowest level since May of 2020. BJ's Wholesale is reporting an upbeat quarter, though. Sales were up nearly 14.5%, excluding gas up more than 4%. BJ's is standing by its forecast for the year, saying is more relevant now. Harley-Davidson is suspending all assembly and shipments for a 2-week period because of an issue with a third-party supplier. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Kosola, invested in you.
America could soon enter stagflation territory with slow economic growth, high unemployment, and high inflation. That is why I recommend gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here, and I want to remind you to get Birch Gold's free info kit on sheltering your savings with Gold IRA. To get your free copy, text the word SHELTER to 989898. With stagflation looming, it's critical that you act today. Text SHELTER to 989898 right now.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. You want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Some of you've seen the video of Johnny Cash in a humorous situation in his hometown, Kingsland, Arkansas. Apparently, there's a water tower, and on the water tower, there's a silhouette of Johnny Cash. Somebody, for fun, shot the water tower. A well-placed shot. Looks like Johnny Cash is relieving himself.
Somebody just couldn't resist.
It's becoming kind of a tourist attraction.
Oh, yeah.
The mayor says, bad as it is, they are giving a little kudos to the person who a well-placed shot. I'll tell you what they need to do. Phil Swift, you've seen it on TV. Little flex tape.
Oh, yeah, right. There you go.
You slap that right in that water tower. A lot cheaper, too, I'll tell you that.
Wondering about the angle of that shot. You'd think be someone at ground level is shooting, and it would be shooting down rather than it's kind of shooting up. What was the angle?
Well, but, first of all, how far away were they when they shot it?
We're treating this like the Zapruder film.
Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW Radio, and we are talking to Bill Schutte in Midland, a member of a group studying infrastructure that has to do with water retention and avoiding flooding, part of the Midland Business Alliance. So, Bill, the $64,000 question, who pays for it? Because it's got to be, I assume, over and above what's going into the dams right now. So if you have to put retention ponds and you have to have all of this other infrastructure, how do you pay for it?
Well, that's part of our plan, and that's our approach. And you really, as usual, put your finger on the issue. And so, first of all, there are two problems that we are working on in Midland in this region with respect to flooding. First was repairing the dams, and the Four Lakes Task Force and Dave Kepler have done a terrific job. And I give Senator Jim Stamas big credit. He was able to, some of the infrastructure money that was passed by Congress that went to the state of Michigan came back home, and it's high time. So I give Stamas credit. We'll probably have to name a lake or a river or a creek after him or something like that. He did such a terrific job. And then a related, not identical problem is how you reduce flooding. And so what we're going to be doing is working with Senator Stamas, and we've been working on a bipartisan basis with Senator Stabenow and Congressman Molinar, Senator Peters, Republicans and Democrats, in terms of the infrastructure investment that has been passed by Congress. We think that this whole flood reduction effort is a prime prospect for federal funds to come back home for infrastructure, and where it really helps in a significant fashion. So we'll be working with Senator Stamas and our federal representatives in just that way. And so I feel very good about it. And with the Army Corps of Engineers, and this might be a multi-year project. It might be $100 million.
Wow.
The fact is, you have to do it in project by project by project. And what we've done in the last year, so the good news is we've worked with Congressman Molinar and Senator Stabenow, and they've helped the city and county of Midland. And we're also doing a new grant for these community development projects with Senator Stabenow, Peters, and Molinar for some additional funds. So we're going in the planning stage at this point. We're very confident by working in a collaborative way with the infrastructure bill that was passed by Congress that we'll have some additional funds that will come to Michigan and through to Midland. But this is a longer term project. But I have to tell you, if you don't fix the problem, then we've shirked our responsibility. If we would have fixed this, and no disrespect, I remember when in '86 I was a member of Congress, and I think my mom got out of her house in a canoe. A lot of people lost their homes, and so so the point is, we should have done more back then. We need to finish the job now. Actually, it's funny. I was looking at some old records, Art, and back in the '70s, there was a report in 1980 that talked about retention ponds and diversion efforts because of the flooding problems in Midland. And back in the 1980s, late '70s, early '80s, the community didn't push aggressively on it. We have a fresh approach now, given we've seen 3 of these floods. Some people said, I can imagine my stepfather telling my mom, "Oh, Esther, don't worry, this will happen once in your lifetime." Well, it did only happen once in her lifetime, but the point is, others have experienced it, so we have to finish it.
And that was part of the problem back in '86, wasn't it? Because it was a, supposedly 100-year flood. We won't see it again, and consequently, nothing was done.
Exactly.
The current trend now, when this committee that you're on is working, is this the kind of project you do concurrently with the reconstruction of the dams, or do you have to wait till the dams are done before you can do anything?
I think you do it concurrently. And I think there's a whole new picture here, that the flooding problem also really puts a spotlight on the environmental needs of reducing the flooding issues in the Midland and Great Lakes Bay. Why? Because the flooding of the Tobacco and Tittabawassee, Pine, and Chippewa, it all goes into the Saginaw Bay watershed and into the Saginaw Bay. And so what we want to do is to reduce, by reducing flooding, you also reduce nutrient runoff, fertilizer runoff, and so you protect one of the prime, I'm looking at a map of the Saginaw Bay right here in my office, we would protect the Saginaw Bay watershed. So to reduce sediment and nutrient runoff. And so the shallowness of the Saginaw Bay is not too different from the depth of the shallowness of Lake Erie by Toledo, where they've seen a lot of algae blooms and big environmental concerns. So let's be proactive in the Saginaw Bay watershed. I'm convinced that we will have a strong eco-sensitive approach to reducing flooding. We're working with the Nature Conservancy, which is one of the premier conservation and environmental groups in the country. They're going to be and they are engaged in this approach. So I believe that we could do something like the Shiawassee floodlands north, but to reduce soil sediment, nutrient, fertilizer runoff. This would be a win-win for the region.
So if we can assume for a moment that all the funding lands on the table and you now can move ahead, how long a project is this? How long is it going to take?
It's hard for me to tell you whether it's going to be 5 or 6 or 7. It'll be a multi-year program, to be sure. And that's why working with our federal and state representatives, we put into place an approach and a plan. And so the Army Corps of Engineers is, as they say, coming into town next week, again, kind of symbolic after the 2-year anniversary. And they've been just terrific to work with. So they're doing a study on the hydrology and the hydraulics of the Tittabawassee, Tobacco, Pine, and Chippewa, which really means the river flow and what the heights and depths and runoffs might be. And then we'll be thinking about, okay, where would we try to construct berms or dikes to protect, let's say it's the Midland Hospital that got flooded out. And so how do you protect the healthcare delivery system in the region? Universities, education, so important. Northwood University got slammed because they're on they're by the water. And then there are other businesses that, they can't have their economic prospects ruined by flooding. So there's a lot of good reason, environmentally, healthcare, education, that makes this a prime prospect for solving the problem. And maybe if it takes 5 to 10 years, all I know, if we would have done that back in '86, here in 2022, we wouldn't be as worried. And other communities have done this. This is not something that other cities and towns along the Mississippi, the Missouri, or Ohio, they've dealt with that, and then they've fixed the problem, and they're growing.
Any thought given to dredging the rivers to deepen them?
It's a little bit past my pay grade
Mine too,
engineering
that's why I'm
wise.
asking.
But I think that if you do retention ponds, then you have to go through the calculation of the amount of acreage that you might need. And the object here, if you can slow the water down for maybe 24 hours upstream before it goes downstream, then that's the definition of success. And so sometimes you do dikes, and then you need to have pump stations to get the water over the dikes so that the creeks don't back up into people's homes and neighborhoods. So I'm getting a crash course on physics from some of my engineering friends. But what's remarkable is the MBA, the Midland Business Alliance Advisory Committee on Infrastructure, started the grounds for this, the seeds for this, was in something called the Sanford Gladwin Rebuild, where some concerned philanthropic-minded businesses and foundations in Midland, we provided grants to rebuild the Red Oak restaurant in Sanford. So come have a burger. They're purchasing really great. And the Sanford hardware store, and a landmark entity in Gladwin, Strikers Marine. And then we rebuilt 3 homes too for individuals. And you know what? It followed suit. It's like that broken window theory. You start cleaning up, others participate. Yep. Robinson Industries in the Beaverton Coleman area, what they did is they helped fix the Ellis Marathon Party store in Sanford. So it was such a big success. Then we said, okay, what's the longer term challenge here? And then this advisory committee was formed.
All right, Bill, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to Bill Schutte and more ahead here on the Art Lewis Show.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community. Time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training. Online at simurange.com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward thinking on target training.
Don't just like to lawn, love to lawn with the Cub Cadet Xt Enduro series. Head to Wolfiles Ace Hardware, your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer today, and see how the fastest growing lawn tractor is setting the standard for performance and comfort. Cub Cadet is delivering more strength, more versatility, and more durability in one lineup that now features bold new redesigns of the fully electric XT1 and the dealer exclusive XT2. The Xt Enduro series also offers extra tough fabricated and stamped decks, breakthrough cutting and bagging performance, incredibly responsive handling, and an ergonomically designed operator station with an adjustable seat for incredible comfort, all backed by strong warranties and the genuine parts, accessories, and trained service technicians only Wolfiles can provide. For expert advice, superior service, and exception, Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. Uma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. QuickBooks manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, used by over 29,000 growing businesses. Automate your process with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility. Graduating from QuickBooks to NetSuite. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program, so graduating has never been easier. Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show for this Thursday morning, talking to Bill Schuette. He's a member of a committee set up by the Midland Business Alliance to look at infrastructure and figure out how to avoid serious flooding in the future. Let's talk just for a minute, Bill, about the dam reconstruction. Apparently, we learn now most of the money is there to rebuild the dams. But there's also discussion of assessments and taxes to people that own the property along the river, along the water. I have said from the beginning, I thought it was kind of a low blow initially when they said, "Oh, well, we're just going to have to tax the people." Well, they already lost their homes, or cost them a fortune. It seemed to me like they were getting hit twice. Now I understand the group has a plan that's a double-sided thing. One side of it is an assessment for the reconstruction. Another side is an operating fund so that it doesn't happen again. I guess I understand the operating side. Is it really fair to these people to assess them to rebuild the dams in any way?
Well, it's a huge problem first, right? And so you have to understand the problem. It is, and then it's an understanding, which I think you and I agree with, that needs to be repaired, because the economy of the region, jobs, recreation, tourism, unless you repair the dams, refill the lakes, that would be first. It's be terrible on the job climate and people's investment in their homes. Tax revenues would fall, and it'd be just horrible for the reputation of this community in mid-Michigan that always solves problems. So you got to get your head on right and go forward. And I think what Kepler's done and the Four Lakes Task Force, I'm not a member of that organization, though I do follow it closely. Without Kepler's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was our only hope, right? And he really did a great job. So when you can bring back $225 million to repair the dams, you've lowered the burden on homeowners. And then I think everyone has to have some skin in the game on it. And I think what they've done, and I'm not familiar with all the calculations on who would pay what, but I think the burden's been relieved substantially, and in terms of the repair. And then secondly, in terms of how you operate it, well, you've got to make sure that 20 years from now, that the thing operates smoothly, operationally sound, and everyone's part of it, because that's the only way it would succeed. So, I think solving the problem was the key thing, and it's about as good an answer you're going to get. And I think the burden has been substantially reduced. I'm not saying it's easy. No one likes paying taxes or assessment or what have you. But I think all in all, solving the problem is so important that in the long run, people's investment, their home, will be of greater value, and there'll be a positive ending.
Let me get your opinion on this. This is just an opinion. You think we're ever going to hold anybody accountable?
You're talking about the
there's all kinds of lawsuits out there. Yeah.
Right. And so there are all sorts of lawsuits out there. That's right. Boyce Hydro was the former owner. And if you remember historically, the ownership was just about to be transferred from Boyce to Four Lakes to then the county owns the bottomlands, and then the floods hit. And I think without a doubt, Boyce did a lousy job operating the dam. So that's a fact in my opinion. Also, there were kind of mixed signals and maybe a poor job by state and federal operating authorities. The FERC, a federal agency, probably hard to, there's FERC's a 4-letter word. Other words would probably describe how people think about it. But, how this gets settled with lawsuits that are in federal and state courts, kind of hard for me to comment on it because, you have federal judges and state court judges working on that right now, and lots of lawsuits. How it ends, I'm not sure.
And of course, we've heard the reports that go back to the 20s when the dams were built and how they were built. And obviously you can't go back and hold anybody accounted for that. I mean, it's just the way it was. So,
and those are back then, they were hydro powered dams. It was a different day and age, and frankly, pretty remarkable even back then. But then they stopped being hydro with the change in energy policies. And Boyce, in my opinion, did a poor job of operating the dams of Smallwood, Wixom, Sanford, and Edenville.
What's surprising to me, given the need for energy today and the movement toward electric cars and the reduction of dependency on coal and all of that, is that we don't hear more about hydropower coming back.
Yeah, it's part of it's the market. Part of it might be politics as well. I mean, and don't get me started on energy policy and $4.35 gasoline. But no, there's very few hydropower right now. But what sometimes goes around comes around, back around, and none of these policy issues are totally new. I mean, look at what's happening in just one moment. What's happening in Ukraine today is like 1938 and 39 in Czechoslovakia. Sure. Back then, the invaders were Hitler's Germany. Now it's Putin's Russia. Back then in the 30s, the menace in the Pacific was the Japanese armament buildup. Now it's China. And they're building of artificial islands and threatening Taiwan. And so these aren't new issues. You need to have a strong America. And in terms of energy policy, we need to have energy independence. We can't be dependent on others.
Talk more about that. You bring up an interesting point. Well, I got to take my last break here, and then we'll be back. We're talking to Bill Schuette. More ahead here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
The Tribute to Summer concert series takes center stage at Saginaw Landing. Don't miss 1964, a recreation of the Beatles' earliest concerts on June 16th, and Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show on June 30th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Worth Road and include $10. Saginaw Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
Why do I love to work at Alpha Media Saginaw?
Awesome stations, fun work environment,
my work family, endless opportunities, because it doesn't feel like work.
Hi, I'm Carrie Gustafson, General Sales Manager at Alpha Media Saginaw.
We are expanding our marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We have an amazing staff and 5 awesome local radio stations. So if you want to get up every day loving what you do,
apply now at alphamediausa.com/careers. Alpha Media is an EE.
Glyphosate-resistant weeds are a growing problem for soybean growers. Intermock herbicide from UPL is a powerful combination of glufosinate and S-metolachlor for immediate, long-lasting, and overlapping residual control of tough broadleaves and grasses in glufosinate-tolerant soybeans, including Palmer amaranth, water hemp, lamb's quarter, and more. Ask your retailer about Intermock, the 2-in-1 herbicide solution from UPL, and always read and follow label directions. Weed resistance is a growing problem for soybean growers, but now there's a way to control weeds and help break the cycle of resistance. New Preview 2.1 UPL, an innovative new combination of active ingredients in a novel SC formulation. So powerful, so long-lasting, it can control the most devastating broadleaf weeds before they start, giving you a preview of what your fields will look like at harvest. Ask your retailer about new Preview 2.1 SC, and always read and follow label directions.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
WSGW is your station for the Tigers.
Line drive, base hit down the right field line. That's heading to the corner. Santiago waving scope around third. Relay from Odor to the plate. Not in time. RBI for Willie Castro. 3-0 Tigers.
Tigers baseball brought to you in part by
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery in Midland.
Your local auto owners agents, including Rummel Agency, Mayan Agency,
and Buck Insurance Agency.
Your home for the Tigers is.
All right, we are back with our conversation with Bill Schutte, and I had promised myself, Bill, that I wasn't going to drag you kicking and screaming into the world of politics. I lied to myself.
We can't help ourselves.
I know it.
That's what we do.
It's what we do. I do have to ask, you brought up something very, very interesting at the end of this last segment about all the things that have happened in the past. And then here we are today with Putin marching into Ukraine and China on the doorstep of Taiwan. Have we learned anything from those things in the past? I mean, did we learn anything from the invasion in the 30s? What did we learn, and what are we doing differently? Because if you do it the same way over and over again, you're not going to get a different result.
Well, that's exactly right. And so back then there were folks, the history really could provide a blueprint of what you could do, what you should do and should not do. Back in the 30s, there were all these appeasement folks who wanted to soothe and appease Germany and hoping that would satisfy Hitler. Well, obviously it didn't. We had a world war. Churchill was the leader of Europe then. Now, who is the leader of Europe today? It's Zelensky. He is the modern day Churchill of the 21st century because he is standing up to the brutality and the shootings and the killings and the war crimes and what they've done. And so the lesson there is that you have to stand firm. Zelensky's doing that. And I think the lesson certainly was not lost on Finland or Sweden, who are now joining NATO, because in particular Finland, that has a 500-mile border with Russia, they're joining NATO. So now NATO will be stronger than ever in a protective, defensive fashion. And I think that most people, most federal leaders understand that we have to support Ukraine. Yes, it's a delicate balance, but what you can't do is do nothing and try to appease them, or they'll be knocking on Poland's door, East Germany's door. Everyone needs to understand Putin is a former KGB agent. And so he woke up after the Berlin Wall came down and said, this is a horror show for Mother Russia. So for years, he's been trying to recreate the Soviet state. He attempted to do that in their earlier invasion of Crimea. And so people have to stand up and say no. There are a few folks in Washington, and strongly disagree with those who don't want to help Ukraine. And if we don't stop Putin and Russia now, it'll be worse. That would be the lesson not learned. So I would hope on a bipartisan basis people would remember the lessons of history, Art.
Yeah. Let me ask, I think I've asked you this before, but, as a political observer, and I've watched politics all my life, it seems that politics has gotten nastier and nastier and nastier, and we're further divided. What do you tell good people why they should run for office? Because we need them.
Well, we need them. I think that I talked to a group of folks not long ago, and I said that a couple of things. We need to give everybody a little bit of grace. I think we need to have more grace out there. I know I need it. But we need to be, we need to listen better and maybe talk less. Instead of pointing fingers at people, we need to open up our arms and embrace folks, even when their viewpoints, as they most certainly are apt to be different than your own, and be a little more understanding. And part of this is you got to shake off these post-COVID blues and, the flood fog and say, okay, let's get a grip on things. But I think the politics has always been a rough sport. I mean, Grover Cleveland, Grover, Mama, where's my pa, whatever that was, and Tippecanoe and Tyler too were pretty rough stuff. The vehicles of media make it even, the edges are sharper now. And I think I would encourage people to run for office, because whatever party you choose, but try to be a role model of grace, understanding. And it doesn't mean you abandon your principle. It doesn't mean you agree with everybody, but you ought to treat folks how you want to be treated. I know it's not easy in this, and everybody gets ultra competitive, but America's a special place, and it's America's an aspirational country. And we haven't been perfect, obviously, our leaders now and in the past, but it's an aspirational constitution. It's an aspirational America. And those are the goals that we have to have and work for as we go forward.
I know we did a show, and you opened the show by saying you were not going to run for office. That was the whole thrust of it. You were announcing that you were not a candidate for something. Will you ever announce that you are again? Or you with politics?
I thank you. And I was not prepared for that question, but
I know.
I'm never really done or through. And should I run for office again? You'll be one of the first to know.
Good enough, Bill. First of all, it's always fun chatting with you, and we appreciate the update on the flooding situation, and we'll have to do that again down the road just to see how you're doing and how it's progressing. And thanks for being with us.
Well, it's great too. The story of this flood is about grit, determination, and that spirit that we have in Midland and Mid-Michigan and in Saginaw and the Great Lakes Bay.
We'll talk to you, friend.
Okay, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
It was fun.
Bill Schutte, we thank him for being with us today. We'll take our last break and be back to close out the show after these notes.
Inflation in Michigan and the Midwest, highest in the nation. Annette Glenn is running for state senate to fight for new jobs, energy independence.
Thank you. I'll call you.
All right.
Cut taxes and drug costs. Annette Glenn fighting for us. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Research shows listeners don't like it. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so with that earphone voice out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor,
just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who they mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV.
You can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Well, it might help if I get the right knobs and turn the right buttons. That'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We thank you for joining us. Coming up, Focus. We're going to focus on insurance with Ken Buck from Buck Insurance. That happens after the news, which is next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan, outside a Buffalo courtroom this morning.
Peyton, you're a coward.
Peyton, you're a coward. Someone yelled at the suspect in the supermarket massacre, Peyton Gendron, the 18-year-old white man and black people. He's being held without bail. A court date has been set for June 9th. CBS's Jerika Duncan on what defense attorneys are saying.
They know that the grand jury has voted to indict, but they say that they have not seen that information in terms of what those charges consist of. We know that the accused shooter, again, pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder.
The head of the FDA, Robert Califf, right now is facing Congress over the baby formula shortage.
This crisis has shown us the impact of having a single manufacturer cease production for a brief period. And unless we strengthen the resilience of our supply chain, we could be one natural disaster, quality mishap, or cyber.
Last night, the House passed a $28 million spending bill to inspect domestic and international formula producers, and President Biden invoked the Defense Production Act to speed up manufacturing and imports. Just now at the White House, the president standing alongside the leaders of Finland and Sweden. Those countries want to join NATO.
Today, I'm proud to welcome and offer the strong support of the United States for the applications of two great democracies and two close, highly capable partners.
McDonald's says it has found a buyer for its 850 restaurants in Russia. That buyer is a franchise. 25 McDonald's in Siberia. The names of those restaurants will change. A day after Wall Street's latest wipeouts, the Dow is down about 300 points. Strategist Matt Orton.
Today, I don't think it's going to be earnings that move the market. Today is really going to be more of digestion of what happened yesterday and just the destruction that we saw across the retail names.
Bad earnings reports from many retailers yesterday set off a new round of recession fears. There's some big trouble with some big vehicles. Jeff Gilbert of affiliate WWJ has more on the recall from Ford.
Certain 2021 Navigators and Expeditions have been isn't yet sure why. One person's been hurt. There have been 16 incidents, 13 while the vehicle was parked. Ford's advising owners to park the vehicles outside. More information when the company comes up with a fix.
The Census Bureau says 1 in 20 residents in Arkansas and Tennessee were missed in the 2020 census, and 4 other states had what are called significant undercounts that could cost them federal money and representation. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
This is Dr. Dennis LaFoon, pastor of Bethel AME Church, and I'm also a member of Saginaw African American Pastors, and we're urging all residents of Saginaw to get the COVID vaccination shot. The health of our community determines the life of our community, so do your part and take the shot that saves lives. Join us in making Saginaw a community with immunity. For COVID vaccine and testing location information, visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Knoll View Golf Course. You are going to get 18 holes and a cart for only $33. It's usually $66, but you are getting it half off. The Knoll View Golf Course is family-owned, built, and operated. Fridays and Saturdays during music night, they offer steak, shrimp, chicken, and salmon on the grill. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is an online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-681. From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies, 60 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. The City of Midland has open positions on a number of boards and commissions and is encouraging residents to apply to fill those spots. Organizations include Cable Access Advisory Commission, Dial-A-Ride Advisory Commission, Local Officers Compensation Commission, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Applications are available at City of Midland and the respective department tabs. Applicants can submit completed applications by email to cityhall@midland-mi.org or by mail to City Hall, attention City Manager's Office, or by placing the application inside an envelope and putting it into a secure drop box located in the front doors of City Hall. They'll be accepted continuously until all positions are filled, with first consideration given to applicants who apply by May 31st. Applicants must be Midland residents unless otherwise noted. No previous
Ken, I think I
or
can hear you, but I don't
experience
see you.
is required to serve.
I don't have a camera.
Oh, okay. So we just do audio. That's fine.
Marshal,
Yeah.
No problem. Your audio is great, so that's good. No problem.
Exhibition
Be with you shortly.
The art collection.
Okay, thank you.
Son and daughter-in-law of the famous sculptor. It's called the Carl and Christina Fredericks Collection, Advancing Dad's Legacy. After his death in 2021, Carl Fredericks left the collection to the museum to help fill out its collection. The exhibition includes 34 sculptures and 7 figure drawings, plus an additional 15 of Marshal Fredericks' figurative drawings recently conserved at the Midwest Art Conservation Center in Minneapolis. The exhibition is available for viewing through the virtual exhibition on Museum Musings portal of the website for the public through August 27th. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
And we're the friendly board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
When it comes to pest management, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Seems like people only think of us once they've spotted a pest.
And by then, it could very well be expensive to treat.
And that's where our free home assessments come in. We'll look for signs of pests and identify conditions that are conducive to unwanted visitors.
Whether it's a mouse in your house or a full-blown millipede bloom,
we have just the right solution to make your yard and your home more livable.
800-966-ROSE.
Compromise is nice if you're at the plate sales, but farmers know better that middle grounds have no winner. That's why there's Revitec fungicide, fast-acting and long-lasting, preventative and curative, disease control and stress reduction. So leave the settling to little Tommy at the seesaw, an old bargain bill, and take your full prize in yields with Revitec fungicide for uncompromised performance. Always read and follow label directions.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Quick traffic note to pass along to you. The railroad tracks on Patterson Road in your Bay City, south of Wheeler Road, will be blocked by a train for about a half an hour. Again, that is Patterson Road south of Wheeler Road. The railroad tracks in that area will be blocked by a train for about a half an hour. Drivers in the area, you will need to find an alternate route. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel is reacting to the Oxford Community School District Board hiring an outside law firm to perform an independent investigation of the mass shooting last November. She says, quote, "We have seen this time and time again. Outside firms hired by school boards will maintain attorney-client privilege with elected members and therefore the ability to stop short of full transparency," end quote. She says in her ongoing conversations with members of the Oxford community, it has remained clear that those impacted by the tragedy want nothing more than a thorough investigation which can help identify ways to improve school safety for Oxford and all communities across the states. Charges are not imminent in the shooting death of a motorist by a police officer in Grand Rapids. Network's Sandra McNeil.
Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker says he won't have a decision on the shooting of unarmed motorist Patrick Leoya until he receives expert guidance from outside the Michigan State Police. Video shows Officer Christopher Schur tussling with Leoya on a front lawn on April 4th. He asked him to take his hand off his taser several times before shooting him in the back of the head. Michigan State Police are expected to have a final report on the shooting by early next week. Becker says while the investigation appears to be moving painstakingly slowly, quote, "It is imperative that I review all the facts and evidence before making a charging decision." Sandra McNeil for the Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1110. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today with a high into the mid-70s. Winds out of the miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. Then for tonight, we'll have a slight chance for some rain showers here late. Mostly cloudy, a low near 62. By Friday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy skies, a high around 86. Saturday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy, high of 72 degrees. Sunday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy skies, a high of 64. Then by Monday, sunshine, high of 62. Tuesday, partial sunshine, high of 67 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 60.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus on WSGW. Art Lewis with you, coming to you from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Focus brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's Ben at 859-6751. RoofMax with 2 X's. Today we're going to talk about insurance, and we do that with our friend Ken Buck from Buck Insurance. Ken, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
I want to start out. We've had news stories on that all of the insurance companies were supposed to provide the rebates, the $400 checks per car to their customers. If someone has not received what they believe they should have received, what should they do?
The first step is that they should contact their agent, because all the insurance companies that I represent have lists of the companies, the clients that received their checks, the date they were mailed, the amount of the check, and everything, so that if you haven't received your check by now, you should be contacting your insurance agent, and they can do a little bit of research and find out when the check went out and how much it was for. I know some of the companies put them in just like plain envelopes, so it looks like you're getting a bill from the company and actually it's a check. So everyone should like double check through their mail to make sure that they don't already have it in their stack of bills.
Or threw it away.
Yes, I've had a couple clients that have done that. Yes, I have. Most companies will make you wait like 30 days to make sure that the check wasn't like delayed in the mail before they will do like a stop payment and then reissue the check. So you should check with your agent, and they'll have all the information about what procedure you need to take to receive your check.
Normally, when we have major changes in laws, after a while they're reflected upon and they make more changes. Have there been any changes to the auto insurance law that changed the way you can sign up for the catastrophic insurance?
The legislature is continuously taking a look at kind of tweaking the law and making other changes in it. But right now, the last thing that was done, to my knowledge, is that they capped the amounts that the hospitals can get for reimbursement from medical payments. So before they passed the law, hospitals were reimbursed on a reasonable and customary basis because that's the way the law was written back in the 1970s. So now it's limited to 240% of what Medicare reimburses for the same type of procedure. So that resulted in excess money in the MCCA pool. So that way, then that's why one of the reasons why we got the $400 checks.
We've in the past got refunds from the MCCA. Now we've got another one. Is that fund changed permanently now with this new law, that we won't go through this again?
The first time that we got checks was, I think, the election year of 2000.
Something like that.
Just before the election. And rather than tackling the insurance reform issue, because they couldn't make any decisions or agreements, they decided they're just going to send money back to clients. So they did that. I think that was more political than it was anything. And then also right after that, there was a couple of court cases that set new precedences that broadened who could qualify for Michigan MCCA benefits. So then our rates for the MCCA went from like $16 to $18 a year. They got up as high as $200 a year, because not only because they took too much money out of the fund, and court cases set new precedences that expanded from the original intent of the law who was qualified for benefits under the no-fault law. So it got so bad that it didn't matter if I was a resident of Michigan or not, if I had insurance or not. I could live in Mississippi, and as long as the accident happened within the boundaries of Michigan, I now had unlimited lifetime medical and 3 years wage loss benefits. So there was some people that were coming into Michigan and kind of having accidents on purpose so that they could get that. And that's one of the reasons why our rates were the highest in the United States. So now there is no new claims going into the MCCA fund. That has been capped as of when the law changed, so that this is now a stagnant fund, so that as people either recover or pass away that are receiving benefits from the MCCA fund, then the need for that fund will gradually dwindle away, and eventually we won't have it anymore. So hopefully with the change of the law, no new claims going in, we won't have a circumstance where all of a sudden the fund is short of money and we got to now pay $200 a vehicle again.
Well, wait a minute now. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something here, because my understanding is if a purchaser of insurance doesn't request any changes, they automatically get put into that fund. So will they not have the same benefits down the road?
The MCCA fund is capped. There's a different fund that they started for all new claims now. Okay. So you can still get unlimited lifetime medical, but it's not through the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association. So that it's a different fund that's funded.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a break. I'm talking to Ken Buck from Buck Insurance, and we will be back with more. Let me take a moment to tell you about my friends at Sanitary Mattress, because, in this day and age, when we're asked to do more for less, we spend, at least we should spend, a third of our life in bed. And in doing that, you want a quality sleep, and you can do it on a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can go to all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in the local economy. Something to remember. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And by the way, they feature a 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. You don't have to wait around all day. Also, they can custom make a mattress for your RV or a boat, something the box stores can't do. Visit Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757.
Where are you going, Steve?
Taking your car to Paintbull.
The body shop? What happened?
Relax. Paintbull's more than a body shop. They do detailing, rust proofing, even ceramic graphene coating applications.
Ceramic what?
No idea, but it sounds cool.
Whew, I thought you were going to Paintbull because you wrecked my car.
No. We just need a new bumper.
What?
Gotta go.
Get your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
America could soon enter stagflation territory with slow economic growth and inflation. That is why I recommend gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here, and I want to remind you to get Birch Gold's free info kit on sheltering your savings with Gold IRA. To get your free copy, text the word SHELTER to 989898. With stagflation looming, it's critical that you act today. Text SHELTER to 989898 right now.
As a parent, you know kids are amazing and expensive. But with Fabric, protecting your family with term life insurance is surprisingly affordable with a personalized policy for your family starting at less than $1 a day. It's quick, easy, all online, and you could be approved instantly. Plus, secure your family's financial future today at meetfabric.com/future. That's MEET fabric.com/future. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life, not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job.
we will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. You are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we are back with you talking to Ken Buck from Buck Insurance in Freeland and talking about automobile policies and automobile insurance. Given where we are now, Ken, if you had a crystal ball, do you see much change in auto insurance coming, or have we finally stabilized?
I hope that the legislature can make one change immediately, if not sooner. When they passed the law, they made this a requirement that unless you wanted unlimited lifetime medical, you have to fill out the personal injury protection medical form every time the policy renews. Yeah. And especially for people that are retired and want to opt out, and they have a 6-month policy, every 6 months, they got to provide a copy of their Medicare card. They have to fill out the form, and they have to mail it in. So it's really a big headache for the insurance companies, for the agents, and also for the insureds, because you fill out that form once, you shouldn't have to fill it out every time the policy renews, but that's the way they passed the law. So I'm really hoping that since this is a election year, if people are talking to their representatives or people running for office, if they could mention to them that we need to really tweak the law so that you can fill out the form once, and unless your medical changes, and seriously, how often do you change your medical? Especially if you're retired, you have a Medicare, you have a Medicare supplement, and you usually have that until you die.
Yep.
So you don't do a lot of changes. So I'd like to see that change. Also, we can kind of tweak a little bit some of the other coverages so that we can maybe get a little bit lower rates in Michigan. But I think that we're at least headed in the right direction now.
Is there any discussion on eliminating that renewal form? Have you heard anything at all in the legislature?
Well, I've talked to a couple of people in the legislature, and they said that they were looking into it, which tells me that there's not been a bill brought forth yet for exact language, but they are looking into getting rid of that because it creates a lot of overhead costs to the insurance companies, which of course they pass along. So they have to mail the form, print the form, and all the underwriting requirements, and it just creates more overhead for the insurance companies, so that if we reduce premiums for everyone, if they didn't have to do that every time.
When all is said and done, though, we are still a no-fault state, correct?
Yes, we are a no-fault state, with a small caveat in that we have limited property damage coverage or mini tort coverage if you're in my age, if you remember that, so that if I do carry just liability insurance on my car and it's not my fault in the accident, I can claim up to $3,000 of my collision loss from the other party. So most people carry that endorsement on their insurance policy. So you would just get a copy of the police report showing the other guy was at fault, copy of the repair estimate showing what damage was done, and a copy of your policy showing you just carried liability insurance, and you turn it into the other guy's insurance company, and you can get up to $3,000 of your collision loss fixed.
Let me ask this about insurance in Michigan. At what point does my rate go up if I have an accident? Any accident, or only accidents that I'm at fault?
It's going to depend a lot on the company. The first accident that's not your fault, generally, for most companies, your rates won't change. Some companies have a small claims-free discount. So once you have any type of a claim, you would lose that 3 to 5% discount. But most companies, the first accident you have is not going to change your rate if it's not your fault. If it is your fault, depending again on the company, some companies have first accident forgiveness. If you have the endorsement, there's endorsements you can purchase now. Or if you've been with a company a certain number of years, some companies offer that to their longtime clients, that if you have the first at-fault accident, it doesn't count against you. But if you have the second claim within a 3-year period of time, pretty much every company, that's going to affect your rates.
All right. How do they get a hold of you for some insurance information and insurance?
They can call me at 989-695-2525, at ken@buckinsurance.com. They can look at my website, which is www.buckinsurance.com, and I'm located in Freeland.
Very good. Ken, we'll talk to you again. Appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Art.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Ken Buck from Buck Insurance, and we thank him for his time. We'll take our last break, come back and close out and move on to the farm show.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun